What Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce is doing right now should be impossible. Before the 2021 season, only 3 women have ever run sub 10.70 in the 100-meter dash. That's Marion Jones, Carmelita Jeter, and FloJo. Since then, Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce has gone sub 10.7 7 total times. Those 3 women that I mentioned before did it a total of 6 times. She is showing that she's the greatest sprinter of all time, and there is no debate. Also, she's doing this at 36 years old. The oldest woman to go sub 10.7 before this was 28. She's proving that time is nothing, and she's able to compete at a very high level at an age that people didn't think was possible. If you look at the top 10 list for both the men and the women, to be in the top 10 for the men, the average age is 25.4 years old. On the women, it's 27.5 years old. She is competing at a high level, nearly a decade older than the average person on this list. While many people think that we've never seen an athlete like Shelly before and we'll never see one again, really, that might not be the case, and this could be the start of something very, very special. Hey everyone, so this episode was actually made before Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce ran her sub 10.7 in Hungary. So we talk about the number 6 as if she had done it 6 times, when in reality, she has actually done it now 7 times, which just goes to show how impressive her year and her career has been. We also talk about the men's 100 from Poland, but in reality, there's not too much to talk about. Same thing with the men's 100 in Hungary. It was Bromell and Bracey that were going 1-2. Not a whole lot to talk about there, so wanted to just give you that quick note before the episode gets started. At the Poland Diamond League meet, Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce wins the 100 with a world-leading time of 10.66. Aaliyah Hobbs comes in second with a 10.94. Toulouse comes in third with an 11.0. Then we have Lukenkemper with an 11.1. Williams with an 11.11, White with 11.15, Melissa Jefferson 11.18, Twanisha Terry 11.20, and then Morrison with an 11.20 as well. And so like we said, what Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce is doing right now is unprecedented. So I took a look at some of the biggest icons that we have when it comes to track and field. And so right now, Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce is in a world of her own on the women's side with having 6 of the 10 fastest times, or 12 fastest times we've ever seen, all coming out of just Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce. And so I created this graph taking a look at some of the greats when it comes to sprinting on both the men and the women's side. So here we have Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce, Carmelita Jeter, Veronica Campbell-Brown, Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin, and Carl Lewis. If you're listening to the audio version, you might want to go and take a look on YouTube. I have this graph that you can see. And so what you'll notice is that many of these athletes run their fastest time sometime in their mid-20s, and then after that, they'll continue running until their late 30s, and their times begin to go up as they start to run slower, because that's just the natural way that things go. But when you take a look at what Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce is doing right now, not only is she maintaining her speed, which many of these athletes haven't been able to do, she's getting faster, because it goes the same for not only women, but men as well. When you take a look at Usain Bolt, I mean, he ran his world record time at 22, and then it just started trending in the upwards direction after that. You know, same with Carl Lewis. I mean, Carl Lewis ran some of his fastest times early on in his career, and then it began to go and start trending in the upwards direction. And so what we're seeing from Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce is an anomaly. No one else has been doing what she's been doing. There's only been 3 athletes that have ever ran a top 10 times in their 30s. So 1, Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce, 2, Merlene Ottey, and 3, Justin Gatlin. They're the only 3 to do it. Gatlin ran it when he was 33, Merlene Ottey ran it when she was 36, and then Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce ran it when she was 34. And so other than that, everyone else is in their 20s when they're running. Like I said, the average age for a top 10 time on the women's side is 27.5 years old. The average age for the men is 25.4 years old. So we're starting to see a trend here where athletes are running faster at an older age. We used to believe, and when it came to sprinting, that hey, if you're going to be a fast sprinter, you have to start running these great times before you're 24. If you look at some of the most recent additions on at least the men's side when it comes to the top 10 list, you have Fred Curley and Trayvon Bromell. Both of these athletes being 26 and 27 when they run on the top 10 list. And so that's showing that's 2 years over what the average is. And this average is taking into consideration those 2 times ran by those athletes. And so if you take them out and replace them with the next person up, it would be going down dramatically. And so it's showing that athletes are finding ways to not only run faster longer, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see, women running elite times into their 40s at this point. Because right now, I mean, Shelly Ann Fraser Pryce, 35 years old, and she's still running 10.66. These are times we never thought was possible. I mean, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are athletes right now that are going to be able to run elite times by the time they're 40. Justin Gatlin would have had the opportunity to run sub 10 at 40 years old if he decided to continue running this year, because he was still running in the 9.9s last season when he was 39 years old. But it's not only that on that end of the spectrum, we're seeing it on the flip side as well. Athletes are running faster earlier. Let's take 2 examples of this. Letsili Tebogo and Arian Knighton. Both of these athletes, being 18 and 19 years old, are running times that we thought was impossible for people of that age to do. In the 100, Tebogo running 991, and on the 200 side, Arian Knighton running a 1949. And I think that we're going to see them continue to extend their career as they're more smart with how many times they run. Training is getting better, recovery is getting better, diet's getting better, sleep is getting better. All of these things are improving, which is allowing athletes to extend their career and extend the amount of years they're able to compete and all of that stuff.